can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, bright, bright rest of my life. I can see all the obstacles in my way. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's gonna be a bright, bright, bright rest of my life. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so that sunset is one of the most spectacular sunsets that I photographed while I was in the Bahamas. So that's something that's very, very common. Incredible sunrises and incredible sunsets. So I've just got a few pictures pulled up that I'd like to share with you guys and just give you a little background on where these came from. So this first one, I can get it to open up. There we go. This is just a picture that I took from. We're actually out on a little boat ride, and this is Stocking Island over here, I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but just I've got literally 500 pictures that I took when I was down there. So
I
I'm not
love
sure
how
exactly.
clear the water looks.
Oh, the water is spectacular. The water and the sand both are just absolutely spectacular. This was on the sandbar. We'll take a trip out to the sandbar one day. I've got the hookup for the boat ride out there, and there will be a floating barge out there that they make hot dogs and hamburgers, and they have all types of drinks available for purchase out on the sandbar. But it's spectacular, and this was a starfish that I took a picture of when I was out there. This looks like this might be a video. I didn't realize I downloaded a video, but maybe I did. Let's see what this is. Okay. This is the sandbar. Check this out. So when the tide goes out, you can literally walk, all the way out to that island. No, this is not, hold on.
Hello?
Let me get my bearings straight. There's so many beautiful places here, it's hard to tell which location.
I don't know, man. There's too many people here. Hello. Hello, paradise. Hello, heaven.
It's kind of what you feel like. I mean, there's literally, this is not one of the most touristy places in the Bahamas. This is not Nassau, guys. This is Exuma, and if you go search Exuma, you'll see it's not really touristy. There are a couple of resorts. I think there's a Sandals resort there, and there's a couple of other exclusive places, but just absolutely spectacular. This next picture is from the sandbar, and this is Jonathan. Jonathan owns the boat that will be taking us, and these are just some clients and friends that were with me, and we just cook right here on this little barge. And this strip here, when the tide is out, or when the tide is in, this is about all that's left. But when the tide goes out, the sandbar expands, and you can literally walk for, just hundreds and hundreds of yards, and you can go over to one of the islands and explore there if you want to, and snorkel around the island. It's just absolutely spectacular. Okay, and this is on the back of Jonathan's boat. So he's got a twin engine. I think it's about 32 feet maybe. That's a dive boat. It's a snorkel boat. That's just a day trip boat. But we'll have Jonathan, we'll hire him for the day, and we'll go anywhere we want to go. It's just incredible, absolutely incredible. This is from the deck of Blue on the Water, BLU on the Water. It's a restaurant where we'll have probably have a couple of meals there. And looking out from Blue, you can see the sandbar back out here. All that white out there is the sandbar. And so Jonathan comes and picks us up at the dock at Blue, and will take us out there, and they pull the barge out there with drinks and food and everything. And this restaurant, I'm actually standing on the deck. This is the downstairs part. They've got these private cabanas that they'll do dinner, and they actually had me perform on Valentine's Day. There's a stage. I think there's another picture that you'll be able to see the stage in just a minute. This is another picture from Cocoa Plum Beach. This is where we go to find sand dollars, and you can literally, if we get there at the right times, you can literally pick up, 20, 30, 40 sand dollars. Now, if there's 8 or 10 of us, not everybody's going to find that many, but there are, every day you can go and just literally pick up as many sand dollars as you want to bring home with you. Let's see here. This is a few sand dollars that I picked up, and the shell that I picked up, probably in about 20 minutes that I was there. You got little tiny ones and good sized ones, but and I know how to pack these. And if you guys do wind up coming with us, I'll let you know a couple of things in advance that you'll need to prepare for if you want to bring home some of these, because they're very fragile. Let's see what this is here. Okay, yeah, this blue stage here, this is the stage that I performed from. And as you can see, the backdrop back here was just absolutely spectacular. And at nighttime, these are all covered with the little lights and stuff. And it's just incredible. There's a fire pit over here. It's just an incredible place. There's another restaurant called Choppy's, Choppy Waters. We call it Choppy's. And I've gotten to know the owner and the head chef over there. And the food is spectacular. Of course, I met the owners of Blue on the Water, and they want me to perform some this summer when we come back. So just it's going to be an absolutely spectacular, epic 5-day trip for whoever wins. And then again, Natalie and I are going to figure out, some costs if anybody wants to come. If you don't win, but you'd like to come and join us, we'll get that figured out. But you guys, I'm telling you, it's absolutely spectacular, absolutely spectacular. All right, it's 12:01, Natalie. Let me give you the screen back, or you take the Did you give me what did you give me? Did you give me the control? Did you make me the host?
Host. Yeah, I made you the host.
Okay, let's make you the host again.
All right. So we wanted to show you a little bit about the Bahamas. A lot of you are probably wondering, like, okay, well, what is this trip about, right? So we wanted to kind of give you a little sneak peek of what it's going to be about. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's something that my old self, I still remember. Like I was telling Kevin, I remember when I was going through my own inner crisis at the age of 38. It's like, it feels like so long ago, but I was looking for places to get away, and it was either the places were like overly spiritual, or they were kind of like this party place. And I was telling Kevin, I'd love to have, these resort getaways whereby people can get away to find themselves, connect with themselves, um, and in a healthy, in a health wise as well, but and more fun, right? More excursions, more relaxing, more interconnection, that sort of thing, but not overly spiritual and not overly party place, like finding a bit of a balance between the two. And so, yeah, and so that is what that's going to be all about. But also, I want to, oh, yeah.
Just let me add something real quick. So what you guys can expect is we'll have an agenda planned out, and there'll be some time if you want to go, especially if you come with a significant other or spouse and you want to go, we can arrange for you guys to have your own little time away. But we're going to have things planned. There'll be some really good times for us just to sit and fellowship, just talk, about different things. But the most part, it's going to be a place to just recharge your batteries, to be surrounded by the most amazing energy, great people, positive energy. We're leaving all of our cares and worries. We're not going down there and rehashing the past. We're gonna experience and enjoy the here and now, and we're going to create images of what we want our future to look like. And those are the types of things that we want to keep on the forefront of our mind. So it will be an absolutely life-changing 5-day getaway for those of you who want to participate with that. So, okay, just had to throw that in there real quick.
Yeah. So I want to start off by being really, really honest about yesterday. And we realized that my daughter had to get tested for the virus. And then I get on Facebook, and there was all these technical difficulties, so we couldn't go live on Facebook. And then all the guests we had invited from LinkedIn were sent the wrong link. And if that wasn't enough, the links that were sent out via email were the wrong ones. So this is all happening moments before and during our live yesterday. And I got tons of dings on my phone and asking me what's going on. And I'll be honest, at the beginning, I was like, not feeling well. And here I'm teaching about how important it is to hold positive images, positive things at the forefront of our minds. And here I'm holding a negative image at the forefront of my mind. And I'm thinking, why is this always happening to me? Like, I don't want to do this right now. I want to shut this down. Like, I was really feeling that way at the beginning. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is that, number one, I'm real. I'll never sit here and tell you that my life is perfect and everything is perfect. And when you're in control of your mind, everything in life works perfectly. No, there's a lot of people doing that out there, and it's a lie. That's not what mindset work is about. You will always have negative stuff come through your mind, but the negative is not bad. It's our thinking that makes it bad. But this work will help you get really good at seeing the negative, go through your mind, but have amazing skills to attach yourself to the fact, not the story, work with the thoughts and not fight them or control them. But the most important reason why I'm bringing this up, I do have the ability to see what my mind was trying to do when the circumstances were happening. I have the ability to see that my mind is telling me lies, and that my mind, just like yours, is conditioned to naturally turn the negative in all circumstances, to the negative in all circumstances. But I can see what my mind wants to do, and I won't allow it. There's the power I want you all to have, that no matter what happens in your life, and things will happen, that you have the tools to shift your own mind away from the natural negative tendencies and shift your mind towards seeing the beauty, the positive, and feel it. And actually feel it, not pretend. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people pretending. Actually feel amazing. So while my mind is telling me negative things about what is happening, I'm actually having an inner dialogue with myself. Yes, while I'm live with all of you yesterday. And I think there was a part, if you go back, you'll see a part where I actually kind of like went
Disconnect.
blank.
Mhm.
And it's funny actually. And I'm telling that negative voice to stop enough, that I'm great at what I do. I told that voice to stop making it about me. It's not about me. It's about serving others, showing up for others. And I also started to brag. Remember yesterday, I'm not teaching something that I just pulled out and just, no, I'm teaching you. We are the product of the product. I started to brag on how amazing that I have found my purpose, and that this business is an expression of our soul. And then Kevin is here with me. And I'm so grateful that we're doing this together, because this is mission work for us. And I reminded that negative voice about my brags. So for us to ask you to start paying attention to what's at the forefront of your minds, like we did yesterday, is so very important. This is everything. It's the thing that is going to make it or break it for you in everything you do, in everything you decide on. Because what's at the forefront of your mind is your North Star. Think about that. It's guiding you through life in that direction. We will talk about the North Star more in detail today, but the direction you are taking in your life is so important. So let's make sure you're aware of what you have filed at the forefront of your mind. Is it what you want? Because we are all conditioned as human beings to store the negative things at the forefront of our minds. And what you store in the forefront, your emotions attach themselves to it. And why this is important is that your emotions, they control your actions, right? Your motivation, your jumping out of bed in the morning, it controls that. And that's what controls your life results or lack of results. And Kevin will explain this in more detail. So if, for example, if I would have allowed the negative voice to keep telling me yesterday, oh, you're messing up, I would have gotten emotionally involved in that thought that I'm messing up. And my actions would have ended up being very friggin' negative. You would have felt me going downhill energetically. Instead, my energy went up, not down. So hear me out. It's impossible to think negative thoughts and go into positive action. It's impossible. What I did yesterday is truly powerful. I rejected negative that was going through my mind, and then bragged about myself, about what I was doing and where I was going. And that changed everything. And I know the majority are thinking negative thoughts and then trying really hard to go into positive action every day. And that's like pushing a boulder up the hill, because they are defying science when they do that. It's like defying gravity. Good luck. That's why it's not working for them. That's why 95% are struggling, even if they're not telling you. That's why they end up filling voids with being a workaholic and and saying, well, I work hard, I provide for my family. But no, they're filling voids, distractions with workaholic, or watching Netflix, or filling voids with food, drugs, alcohol. And tomorrow we're going to talk about all these addictions. When we understand we can reject negative and plant positives in our mind, I'm telling you, everything in your life will change, because what is at the forefront of your mind is what it has to be, what you want, not the negative that you don't want. Okay, so I hope you all have burned the negative yesterday or this morning. And if you haven't done it, please do it. Please start in the habit of doing this. This is the only way. Please understand that. It starts with your mind. If you can't work on controlling that, and it's not controlling, but working with it, then nothing in your life will change. And it's not only about burning the old, it's replacing it with 5 brags. It's about starting this new process to bring you in the frequency that you need to, right? It's so important. So let's show our minds what we really want to focus on, right? We show our minds what the North Star is going to be. So we're going to talk about the North Star today, because this is what's going on in mindset work. It's not about how to think positive. I swear, I look at Instagram and social media and they throw the law of, and I mean, Susan, you're on here right now. You know what I'm talking about, right? They'll throw things about the law of attraction and all these things out there. And it's like, come on, that is not mindset work, right? Be real, be truthful, right? And this, what we're covering this week, is mindset work. So Kevin, I'll let you go into paradigms and share more so I could give you the chance to talk. You know, we can get into
Listen,
it.
I love watching Natalie get rolling, because she's so passionate about what she does. And before I start to share a little bit with you, first of all, we just want to welcome you all here. We're so glad that you're taking the time out and making the commitment to yourself to be here, because obviously there's an area in your life, or 2 or 3 areas in your life, that you'd like to see different results. And we're going to talk about some things today that you may or may not have ever heard about before. One of them is just different techniques that you can use when things come upon you that you're not expecting. I want to share something real quick with you. Before I really understood this, how many of you just have developed the habit of just, and not even on purpose, but you react. You just react when something comes at you, and completely, they say, like throws a monkey wrench into the system, comes out of nowhere, completely catches you off guard, and you explode, you blow up, you freak out. I mean, I used to be that guy. Listen, prepare yourself every day, mentally prepare yourself that there will most likely be things that happen throughout your day that are going to catch you off guard, and have develop the awareness that when that happens, you'll feel it. But before you open your mouth, just take a couple of seconds to think about what you're doing, about what you're about to say, because it is so easy just to completely blow up, and then you wish, God, I wish I hadn't have done it that way. Now, there is a difference between being prepared and expecting, and I'll give you an example. If say you're a couple, a married couple, and you know that your husband comes home from work and he's generally, you can tell by the way he gets out of his vehicle what kind of mood he's in. And all day, if you're home, you may not be home, but when you get together, you know these little cues. How many of us expect it to be bad? Okay. When you expect it to be bad, you're already in a negative energy. Okay. Now, how many of you just prepare? It could be or it couldn't be, and you're just neutral. You're just prepared. It could go either way. And this is how I'm going to handle it if it goes this way, and this is how I'm going to handle it if it goes that way. How many of you even think about those things? Or does it just happen automatically? Listen, that happen automatically is what we call a paradigm. And we're going to talk about the paradigms today as it relates to self-image and as it relates to our beliefs and just our habits. A paradigm is basically, it's habitual way of thinking, and it's a habitual way of acting, a habitual way of speaking. You have paradigms around money, you have paradigms around your weight, you have paradigms around your health, you have paradigms around your family. They're all a system of beliefs that have been formed in you almost since the day you were born. And most of these beliefs, most of these paradigms were basically instilled in you from the people around you. your parents, your siblings, your friends, your church if you went to a church, or if you didn't go to a church, the school that you went to, the neighborhood that you grew up in, the music that you listened to, the TV shows that you watch, over and over and over and over and over from the time that you were born. You have been programmed with your paradigm. You didn't get to choose that. This is the realization that we all have to get to, is that you didn't choose that. You didn't choose your parents. You didn't choose any of that. That was all chosen for you by who? You get to talk about that some other time. It was chosen for you. As we grow older, this has been repetitive. This has been instilled in us over and over and over and over, and we live with that, and we create our system of beliefs. Our operating system is all been based on what somebody else put into us. It may be serving you, it may not be serving you. You have to ask yourself, what do I believe and why do I believe it? Why do I feel this way about money? Why do I feel this way about success? Why do I feel this way about my appearance? Why do I feel this way? You have to start doing the work of going inside and asking yourself why. If your beliefs, if there's a conflict, if somebody's been telling you this your whole life, but you're rebelling against it and you don't agree, there's a reason. Because inside your heart of hearts, you know the truth already. And so if you feel uneasy about certain things, it's because there is a conflict there. And we want to get to the understanding of a paradigm, and we want to start reprogramming that paradigm to what our heart of hearts believes and what we want for our life. So again, the paradigm is something that was created for us in different areas. If you grew up with parents that had a lot of money, then your paradigm around money is going to be different than somebody that grew up that didn't have a whole lot of money. A paradigm could be, you may have grown up hearing your parents say money doesn't grow on trees. Who do you think we are, the Rockefellers? Where are you going to get the money? You know we can't afford to do that. I know your friends are going to Disney World, but we can't afford. You hear this over and over and over and over, and that creates a paradigm around money that you develop and adopt as your own, and it creates this energy that you go with. The same thing if you grew up in a home with parents that were married for 40, 50 years, you're going to be different than somebody like me whose parents divorced when I was very, very young. And my mom was basically non-existent in our life. I developed a whole new set of paradigms around marriage, around women, around trust, and that affected me for most of my adult life. And then I started to uncover why I am the way I am, why I think the way I think, why I act and react the way I do, why I believe what I do. And it was all because of the way that I was raised and the paradigms that were formed in me against what I wanted. And I got to go back and review all of these things and ask myself, is this really making me happy? And is this what I want? And is there a different way to think about this? And I got to go, and that's one of the things that Natalie and I do for those that decide to take this beyond the 5 days, is we go through a program that helps you understand and change that paradigm to something that's more in alignment with your heart of hearts. And it is powerful. Something else. How many times have you guys, maybe right now you're feeling, I don't know what you're feeling, but you may be feeling great. This is awesome. This is awesome. How many times have you been to a conference where they've had an inspirational speaker, a motivational speaker? Or how many times have you watched a movie like 7 Pounds by Will Smith, or The Pursuit of Happiness, or some of these movies, and you get so inspired and so motivated. I'm going to change my life. And 3, 4, 5, 6 days later, you're right back to the same thing. It's because that paradigm is massively stronger than what your heart of hearts wants, and it reverts back to its old way. The only way that any of this is going to last with you guys is it has to be repetitive. You have to study this. You have to put this on the forefront of your mind, and it has to stay there over and over and over and over and over, just like going on a diet, losing weight. You can't say, I'm going to go lose 50 pounds and decide to eat good for 2-3 days and work out 2-3 days and then expect to lose 50 pounds. You're going to revert right back. How many people have made New Year's resolutions? I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And a week into it, 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, you've already blown it. Okay? because you revert back to the operating system that you've been programmed with. People talk about brainwashing. You're just getting brainwashed. No, think about what does that really mean, brainwash? What does that mean? Maybe it means cleaning it out. Have you ever thought about that? What if you're programmed with a bunch of bad programming? You ever tried to use a computer that's got viruses in it and it runs slow and you can never get what you want and you're sitting there frustrated? What happens if it's the same way with our minds? What if a lot of things that we've been taught, have hurt us? But it's your belief system. No, that's my beliefs. That's my grandparents believe that. My dad believed that. My brothers believe that. And this is how it is. And they're saying this is all a bunch of hogwash. Look at their life. Look at their results. Look at how they react. Look at how they treat people. Look at how they respond. And then go find people that have understanding and awareness, that have peace, and see how they act, see how they respond. What do you want? What do you want? Paradigms control 95% of what we do. 95%. So what are the results that you're getting in your life? What are the results you're getting in your health? What are the results you're getting in your marriage, in your love life? What are the results that you're getting in your finances? If those results are not good, how long have they not been good? How long have you wanted to change them? How long? Has it been a couple of weeks, or has it been years? And you keep covering it up with trips and excursions and food and anything so you don't have to think about it anymore. How long has it been that way? How much longer are you going to live your life that way before you make the decision that we're going to do something? Guys, I'll be honest, it took me until I was about 51 and a half years old. Okay? I tried to do it myself. I don't need anybody's help. I can go read a book. I can go watch a video. I get it. I see it. But there is a lot that I didn't understand. And one of them is this repetition. I didn't understand that. We were taught, you go to school, you do chapter 1, you do a review, you take a test, you move on to chapter 2. And it's just like that. It's over. That's how we've been programmed. That's part of our paradigm. But do you know that if you want to change your life, it's not going to happen with just making a decision and never worrying about it again. You have to continue to put this information in until it becomes a new part of how you think and a new part of how you respond and a new part of how you believe. Okay. We're not talking about believing in heaven and hell and God and devil and all that. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about, what do you want for your life? What do you believe about yourself right now? Do you think that our family just wasn't blessed? I'm not good looking enough. I'm too old. I'm too fat. Nobody's going to love me. I tried that before. It didn't work. Same thing's going to happen again. Or are you going through life saying, you know what? What if everything that I've believed up until now, what if it's not really who I am? What if it's other people's thoughts and beliefs? What would I create for myself? If you could go and create your operating system, what kind of person would you be? Would you be kind? Would you have peace? Would you be prosperous? Would you be gentle and loving? What would you like to be? Outgoing? Lots of friends? I mean, I think everybody, if they could sit down and create how you would like to be, you would have all those attributes. But you're struggling because other people have put things in you that aren't true. People have told you you're not good enough. Well, who do you think you are? Einstein? How do you think you're going to do? You can't do that. You better just go get a job at the factory. You'd probably be really good at digging ditches. You want to be a country music singer? Are you crazy? You can't do that. Nobody in our family's ever done anything like that before. Where'd you come up with that? Wait, you want to do what? You want to go open up your own business? Where are you going to get the money to do that? And you know what? You let those people, you let what they say, you let those thoughts ring and roll around in your forefront of your mind until you convince yourself that, yeah, they're probably right. Yeah, I'm 6'2". How am I expect to play basketball? Go ask Spud Webb. Did he believe that? All right. So I'm just saying, what do you want? Not what do your parents want for you? Not what does your husband or wife want for you? Not what do all of your friends want for you? What do you want for you? This is your life. They get to go do their life. Natalie gets to do her life. I get to do mine. What do I want? What do you want? What do you want? You have to know what you want. And we're going to talk about goals today, because if you don't have a goal, you're like a ship in a harbor that doesn't have its GPS coordinates, and they just turn the engine on and just let it do whatever. It's just going to bounce around and probably sink. You have to have some idea of what it is that you want. And you can't just say, I want this, and never think about it again. It should be on the forefront of your mind. And I can, guys, I can literally go on and on and on, but I want to throw it back to Natalie, because I've been talking for too long. There's a lot of information here, but we want you to start to understand that there is way more going on than you've ever been taught before. And we want you to be curious, because as Steve Jobs says, it was curiosity and his intuition that got him to where he went. Be curious about things. Be open-minded. Go look for the truth and ask. You don't have to ask Natalie or me. Ask yourself, how can I do this? How can I get this money? How can I lose that weight? How can I attract the right person? Ask those questions, and you'll be amazed at the ideas that will start to come into you. Natalie?
All right. So before we keep going, we're going to do a little break here and give away a prize today. Because what Kevin is sharing is extremely powerful. So it might be good to give a little bit of that mind break. And so we'll do this, and then we'll keep going. So Zoe, are you on? Are you there? Zoe's going. She's got the box to with the names and the draws. So we're ready for draw. She's all ready to go. Okay. So hey Zoe, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys? You guys are awesome today.
Zoe is
awesome.
Oh, I love you, Zoe. She's awesome. Zoe is a registered kinesiologist, entrepreneur, and she also works with me. And yeah, together we're powerful together, right, Zoe? And things that we're able to do and help shift the body is just we love it. We're very passionate about it. So. So we're giving away a package of books from our mentor and partner, Bob Proctor. We facilitate, like Kevin was talking about, we facilitate the very programs that have changed our lives. And it's a very powerful combination because Bob, did I just say Pop? Bob teaches you how to connect to your soul's
I call him Uncle Bob.
He helps you connect to your soul's purpose, what your heart wants, that thing that you can feel, right? It's longing for more, and then break free of a lot of these paradigms. And our specialty is uncovering the emotional patterns that block people from living in the body, health, and love life they want. So in this package, I included a very awesome journal, and journaling your thoughts is so powerful. Every Monday, Zoe and I have in the group Awesome Body Amazing Life, we do journaling every Monday. So anybody that's interested in journaling, but we basically bring to mind different things for you to question. And so I am giving away a journal, and we're also going to include The Art of Living by Bob Proctor and the ABCs of Success, and also his famous book, You Are Born Rich. So you must be live to win the daily prizes. And we're obviously going by who was live yesterday. So Zoe is going to pick the lucky winner.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing prize. Holy moly.
Yeah.
All right. Got my magic bowl here. Let's see. Susan Hum. Oh, you can't see.
Susan Hum.
Susan has all those books, and I'm sure she won't mind if we give it to somebody else.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't think she probably has a package of those books.
Sorry,
I met Susan at the Matrix at the big event that I went to in March of 2019, and we just developed a lifelong friendship. And she's actually, they call her the love guru. And you'll get to meet her on Thursday. She's the one
I forgot.
Natalie and got Natalie all prepared for meeting me. and she's the
Oh.
one that snapped the picture of us when we first met. So
Yeah, so we're
when
going
we
to talk
did it
about that
Thursday.
on Thursday, though. We're not going to jump quickly because there's a lot about that day that
Yeah.
requires us to understand what we're going to talk about what we talk about yesterday, today, and then obviously tomorrow. So awesome. So we're going to get going on goals. All right. So
Did
if
you
you
want me to pull another?
Let's pull another name.
Okay.
oh yes, that's right.
Okay. I pulled another name. I just didn't know if you want it or not. Okay, Natalie is very committed to her vision here.
Oh yeah, can you tell, right? I'm like, all right, let's go, time, right? Oh boy.
Okay, so I pulled another name, and the lucky winner is Joanna Murph, I believe.
Oh, awesome, Joanna.
Awesome.
So Joanna, send Zoe your address and we will ship that to you. It's awesome.
That's
Perfect. All right, now I can get started, right? All right, so goals. So if you regularly come to my classes, you know we talk about setting goals that scare you. And if you are new to our classes, you might think, wait, why are we talking about goals? What does that have to do with health and finding your love partner or reigniting your love life? And my answer is, you're about to see that it has everything to do with that, because we are goal-seeking creatures. Every single human being on the planet, even those that are really, really good at convincing themselves that they're okay where they are. Do you know what the opposite of self-love is? It's not self-hate, it's indifference. It's indifference. It's the people that are like, yeah. That is the opposite of self-love. So when people feel indifferent about their future, let that sink in. Okay, so if we don't have a goal, a vision, a North Star, or something to strive for, we are lost. We are indifferent. We are not feeling too good, right? People that are depressed. Why do you think that is? And my biggest pet peeve, anybody that knows me, is when people are feeling depressed and now they're medicating them. And here's the truth. Would you ever jump in a car and just go west? Where would you go? West? You'd be going west, west, west in a circle. You'd be going nowhere. Well, that's what many of us are doing. Because ask people, do you have a goal? Chances are they don't have a goal. And like Bob says, and if somebody does have a goal, ask them if they have it written down and they're focusing on it, that they have it at the forefront of their minds. Majority don't. And the ones that do, they're the very small percentage of the population that's actually doing extremely well. So, and if I, and I get it. If you're in the corporate world like I was, goals was something that we kind of were forced to set. And we were forced to set it based on what the corporate company wanted from us. And so it's not something we actually like to do, is set a goal so that someone else benefits. What I'm explaining here is how to get your dream life type of goal. When Bob started to teach me about goals, as in how to live my dream life, I was like, heck yeah, tell me more, right? So I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to show this experiment that happened is going to show you in more detail. Now about here, I've got such a busy screen. It's not even funny here. I'm gonna try to make this bigger so that you're not distracted. Now, do not make fun of the way I draw. A lot of my clients are on here, they're gonna like laugh, but so I want you to picture.
Oh, Natalie's name is Natalie Da Vinci. for sure.
Yeah, right. Right. So I want you to pick, like, I can't even do a perfect square. So I want you to picture like this is like a big, gymnasium. So they were doing an experiment. And I want you to picture, the facilitators right here. And they placed chairs all along the center. And so these are chairs. Allow this to represent chairs.
Looks like
And
an to me. I'm just kidding, Natalie. It does look like a chair.
okay.
That one doesn't look.
All
like
right, whatever. You get the point, right? So, and then they had strings. And then they had individuals here. Trust me, it's all going to make a lot of sense in a second. So they had people here all lined up. And you know what? These people had a variety of different education, because what I'm about to show you is that wisdom is very different than intelligence. We think that, oh, it's because I'm not smart enough that I'm not achieving the things that I want. It's because I'm not educated enough. It's all friggin' crap and bullshit. And I'm about to show you that, okay? So in this lineup of people, all kinds of different experiences, different knowledge, expertise level. This is what they had. They actually had quite a lot of them, right? And so picture the instructor, and he says, start walking. So everybody just started walking. And what they noticed is that everybody was just going in circles. This person's asking this person, like, where are you going? I don't know where I'm going. Do you know where we're going? And they're like kind of walking in circles, and they're like laughing and making fun of it. They're like, this is like kind of ridiculous. We don't see the point of this. And they're just kind of going around and around, asking each other, obviously asking the next person that's clueless about it, what this is about. And they're constantly doing, they're going around in circles. So picture that. Then what they did, the instructor said, okay, enough, right? And I want you to notice they only stayed in this area. Nobody crossed over. So then the instructor asked the same individuals and only said one thing, and said, now I want you to touch this side of the wall. That's it. That's your goal. Touch this side of the wall. Every single one of them, touched the wall. Some of them jumped over this. Some of them moved it. Some of them, actually, we saw on a video, some of them like busted right through it. And just the point is that every single person ended up touching the wall without asking for direction, asking for anything. The point of what I'm trying to make is that if you don't know where you're going, you're going to end up doing like the first group. I want you to picture that, the first group. Like, I don't know where I'm going. Do you know where you're going? And then people are asking the other people that don't know where they're going, what do you think I should do? I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, right? And that is what's happening with society out there. I want you to think about that. Like right now with the virus, everybody is following each other, and it's not pretty. But the people that are very, very connected to a goal, the people that are connected to a North Star, I want you to picture these chairs as an obstacle. They're just like not even noticing the obstacle. They're moving over it, or if they're noticing it, they're too focused to get to their goal, to even care about this now. But the people that care about this are the people that don't have the North Star. They don't have the connection of their hearts. Their hearts are not connected to what they really want. And trust me, if you're connected to what society wants of you, that is not connected to your heart, by the way. You're not going to blow through and make things happen in your life. What we want you to do is really connect to the heart of heart, like Kevin says. You're the heart of who you are. Because once you connect to that, that's the life you really want to live. And everything, you're no longer the person that says, oh, the reason why I didn't show up is because of this and that, and this circumstance happened, and there was this that happened. You're no longer that person. You're that person that says, okay, I get it. This is happening, but this is where I'm going. And so, and again, it doesn't mean that a genius, whenever we talk about Einstein and we're talking about, you know, all these geniuses like Steve Jobs and Henry Ford or any of them, and we think they're a genius, here's what they did. Here's the genius, is that they were focused on a North Star. They were focused on the vision. They got connected. It's not that you're going to become an Einstein. I'm not going to become an Einstein. I don't see in my mind a vision of numbers because that's just not my gift. And that's okay, because there's nothing about me that desires any of it. But Einstein was connected to his heart, to what he desired. He stayed focused and he explained, you are all geniuses. You are all geniuses. The only difference between him and you is that he's connected to his genius and he is walking towards it. And every day he's asking himself the right question. At the forefront of his mind is his vision, is his North Star. And he's asking himself every day, what can I do to get closer to it? And that is genius. If you can do that with your life, if you can do that with your life, you will be the next genius. And the society's going to look at you and say, wow, look at you.
Hey,
Wow.
Natalie, can I share something real quick?
Yeah.
So this goes right in line with what you're talking about. But I heard this said as a songwriter. You know, we write and everybody's coming up with different play on words and things like that. And I heard somebody say one day, if you don't know where you're going, you're already there.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know where you're going, you're already there. So if you don't have goals in your relationship, what you have right now, you're there. If you don't like where you are, set a destination of where you would like to be with your relationship. And listen, this is just the facts. It happens every day. We're not here to uh, uh, create divorces. We aren't here to do anything. All we are here to do is guide you with the information. Some people are going to choose to go on this journey. Some people are not. At the end of the day, this is your life. What do you want? What do you want for your life? You need a destination. You need to have a goal in mind. And if you don't have it written down, I would encourage you to write it down. I'm a guy that knew this and heard this time and time and time and time again. I never would write it down because I think that there was a part in me that said, if I write this down, what happens if I fail? Okay. And that was on the forefront of my mind. I'm not going to write that down because what if I fail? What if I fail? What if I fail? How about this question? What if I succeed? Why do we always go to the negative? Because that is how we've been programmed. So set that course. Like Natalie says, you don't just get in your car and go. You better know where you're going or you're just going to ride around and just riding around. What do you want? Where do you want to go? Sorry, Natalie, I had to just throw that in real quick.
No, not at all. That's awesome. And again, I just, well, if you wanted to add anything else to that, Kevin, because I think that what we wanted to do today is really cover like paradigms. So you start understanding paradigms. So I start to see that your paradigms, you see yourself based on how you were raised. Please understand that you see yourself, your self-image is based on how you were raised. But if you can connect to the heart of who you are, because you were not born to a child is not born to doubt itself, to fear, you weren't born in a place of any of that. You were born in a place of love. You were not born from a place of pain and hate and anger. No, society taught you all of that. Please understand that. Society also taught you that following your heart, there's no money in that. Following your heart is going to lead you to trouble. Because they're not doing it. They don't even understand how that works. What we want you to see today is how important it is to be connected to the heart of who you are, because that's the only truth. That's the only truth is what's inside of you. It's the only truth, what you feel. And so I think what I would love to do is maybe like share a bit of a story about myself. So maybe that might help a little bit, but what this has done for my life, because I was in the corporate world for 20 years and fantasizing about health and fitness and being fit, you know, traveling like a lot of the fitness people out there, you know, I was always like on social media watching that. And I obsessed with my own body image, with food and weight loss. And I dreamed of being with someone that loved me. Like I dreamt of a lot of that. But yet on the surface, I acted like I didn't need a man. That men are intimidated by successful women. That you can't be successful if oh, it's a lot of paradigms. I get annoyed whenever people were making out around me. I just leave. It only pissed me off because I really wanted it deep down, by the way. When we talk about paradigms, well, here are my paradigms that were instilled in me when I was growing up. I was brought up to believe that love doesn't really exist. It's the way I was brought up. It didn't look like it. And everyone around me, it was the relationships that I saw is really dysfunctional. I was brought up to believe that our family does not age well after kids. Our bodies never look the same after we have kids. And when we're over 30, boy, it gets worse. I was brought up with bad habits around food and was brought up that if I'm in the corporate world and I'm a executive, I'm successful, I've made it. So these were my paradigms. This is how I used to see the world. That's what my self-image was. I saw myself as someone that struggled with her body, that struggled with relationships. I was a workaholic and pretended I was proud of it. I was really good at pretending I was proud of it. I struggled with food because I wanted to distract myself all the time from feeling lonely. So if I wasn't eating, I was working. Right? Some people it's drinking and working, whatever, same thing. Because I felt lonely every single day. So I ended up in a loveless marriage that didn't work. Of course I did. Of course I did. Think about it. I don't believe in love. How the heck am I going to attract it? I'd binge eat every weekend, watching love movies and crying because my heart wanted a different life, but my paradigm kept convincing me that I was living the life. You know, I was successful in business, I should be happy. I have healthy daughters, I should be happy. We've got a nice home and a nice husband, should be happy. But I wasn't, because my paradigm was leading me down a road that belonged to my parents, not me, not the heart of me. I was not born with a desire to live that life. I was born with a desire to live a different life, but I didn't know. And when you feel longing and discontent, that is your heart telling you to stop. You are going in the wrong direction. But we are too busy. And if you are anything like I was, I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. Oh my God, I was frustrated over everything. If that is you, right? If you're too busy to listen to what your heart wants, guess what? You continue to go into the wrong direction to the point where, trust me, that boulder you're pushing up the hill, it's gonna feel even worse. It's gonna feel even heavier. So today, everything in my life is different. And all I did was I sat down with where you are right now. I sat down and I was exactly where you are right now. And something inside of me clicked. It was that tipping point in my life. It's when I decided I'm not going to settle for less anymore. I'm not going to settle. I want more. And I'm going after it. And it's not this and that, and no, it's not a this or that anymore. I'm going to have it all. Whatever my heart desires, I'm going to trust and I'm going to move towards. So I started connecting to my seagulls, my fantasy life. And it's not about the seagulls, the stuff, the body, the money, the love life. It's not about those things. If you make it about those things, you'll never have those things. It's when I connected to these goals, when I connected to my heart and what I desire in life, when I connected and I knew what I wanted, I started to naturally move in that direction. But it wasn't about the stuff. I wanted the emotions behind the stuff. I wanted to feel connected. I wanted to feel free. I wanted to feel inspired. I wanted to be able to jump out of bed every day. These goals, this goal of transforming my body, the goals of finding the purpose in my life, the goal to find the love of my life, it pulled me into a higher dimension of myself. So to achieve these goals, it requires you to have this evolution within you, mindset wise, because in order for you to have this fantasy you dream of, you have to evolve mindset wise. You have to believe you can have it. And right now, the only difference between you and I is that I've learned how to unlearn a lot of the stuff that I was taught that forced me to believe that that was impossible, and learned how to believe in what was possible. So right now, you don't believe you can have this fantasy or your dream or a better love life or more money or the body you want. Because if you believed it, you'd be living it. You'd be living it right now. And that's the truth. So paradigms are not things you are aware of. They're patterns that we don't even see, that we continuously distract ourselves to avoid seeing them. It's natural for us human beings to do that. I did it for 20 years. But when I connected to my dream, I wanted the dream. And because I wanted the dream so badly, I was ready to face my paradigms. I was ready to face my inner patterns. And I was ready to rise above them. Right? You were not taught how to do that. We were taught to just fill our voids. And so there's this belief inside of you that doesn't think that this is possible. So when I say things like finding your soulmate, right, Kevin, does that sound like an exaggeration to you? If I said you can earn $1 million instead of waiting to win the lottery or struggling every month, does that sound like an exaggeration to you? Right? Because these questions are important because that determines what you believe is possible. What if I said you could live in a 20-year-old body? I know people in their 70s that have transformed their bodies, and it would blow you away. Does that sound like an exaggeration? Right? That you can live your purpose and get paid really well for it. Doing exactly what you love, getting paid to just be you. Does that sound like an exaggeration? You want to jump in, Kevin?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, no, Natalie, I'm just reflecting on everything that you and I learned over the last 2 years. I mean, the old you, honestly, guys, the old Natalie that she described, I would have never been attracted to that person. Natalie might have been attracted to me up on stage, but once she got to know me, she'd have done like all the other girls that I really liked. They just said, this guy's, he ain't got his shit together. I'm gonna go back to the old guy that drank beer every weekend. I'm like, look at these guys. Why'd she go back to that guy? It was because I wasn't living my truth. But anyway, what I want to share real quickly, and guys, there's so much information, and we know that it's information overload. All we're trying to do is plant a few seeds. We want you guys to develop the curiosity on your own, that you want to continue this, because being here for 5 days, yes, it will plant some seeds, but you have to let those seeds, you got to let those seeds, you got to cultivate them and you've got to let them grow. If you don't do anything, if you just leave them laying there, they're going to eventually die after about a week or so. You're going to get back into your own old routine, the same people, the same drama, the same Facebook posts, the same news, and you're going to forget all of this and you're going to go right back, because that paradigm has been created in you and it's been driving you for years and years and years and years and years. So how long have you felt the longing and discontent? How long have you said, I'm going to do something about it one of these days? Guys, one of these days never comes. Okay, I'm just telling you right now. If you keep saying one of these days I'm going to, you are always going to say one of these days I'm going to. One of these days I'm gonna. One of these days I'm gonna. You've got to make a decision. You've got to know where you want to go. You've got to make the decision that you're going to go there, because I promise you, whatever that price is going to be worth it. You can't afford to stay where you're at unless you love your life. And if you loved your life, you wouldn't be here with us right now. I'm not saying that your life is bad, but you've obviously got some longing and discontent. So getting back down to the paradigms, I want to share something with you guys. We're not going to go into details. I'm just going to give you the basic outline. This is something that hit me like a ton of bricks. Do you know when you don't feel good, that is a symptom? It's a symptom that there's something wrong. Just like if you have a massive pain in your elbow and you can't even straighten it out, that is a symptom. And if it gets worse, what do? You eventually go to the doctor and get it fixed, unless you're stubborn like me and you let it heal on its own and it takes 2 years. Actually, that was my shoulder that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a symptom if you don't feel good. The first place that you need to go and look, if you do not feel good, you need to go and you need to see what's on the forefront of your mind. Because I guarantee you, 100% of the time, when you don't feel good, what's on the forefront of your mind is why you don't feel good. What is it that you're thinking about? What are you paying attention to? So this is how the order goes. Your thoughts, what you think about, what's on the forefront of your mind, what rolls around, the habitual pattern of thinking that you have, what you're thinking is going to create the feelings that you have. Okay? These feelings don't just come upon you for no reason. They come upon you because of a thought that you have. And you know how I know that? Because I could tell you to close your eyes right now and hold out your hands and imagine somebody putting 10 $100 bills in your hand, and it's going to instantly change the way you feel. If you can do that, if you can really imagine it, it's going to instantly what you think is going to change how you feel. It's going to create that feeling. If somebody says, "Oh, I've got some really bad news. I just found out that your wife has been seeing old John down the street for the last 6 weeks." Somebody told you something, you get that thought in your mind, and instantly you can feel that in your chest and in your heart area. Instantly, okay? Just with a thought. So your thoughts are going to dictate the way you feel. The way you feel is going to dictate the actions that you take. And guys, listen, sometimes inaction, doing nothing, that is an action. Doing nothing is an action. If you don't feel good, sitting on the couch and binge eating ice cream and watching Netflix is an action. Every action that you take is going to cause a reaction. And that reaction is going to produce a result in your life. If you don't like the results that you're getting in your life, it all starts with your thoughts. You have to monitor, you have to be aware of what you're thinking about, and you have to ask yourself, is this thought that I'm having right now, is this good for me, or is this not good for me? Is this what I want? Are you thinking about the past? You want to keep creating the past? Because that's what you're going to do. Your thoughts are going to create the way you feel. The way you feel is going to dictate the actions that you take. Those actions are going to get a reaction, and that reaction is going to produce the results in your life. So if you don't like the results in your life, it starts with your thoughts. You have to understand what you're thinking, and you have to become aware of what you're thinking, and you have to ask yourself, is this really what I want? because Bob says that you're living the life that you really want. I tried to argue with that. And as I went through the thinking results, the program, I started to begin to understand what he meant. Because if you don't want something, why do you keep thinking about it? Why do you keep thinking about the very things that you don't want? Why do you use your imagination against yourself? We have an imagination, you know, and it's been said that it's the most miraculous, most marvelous, most inconceivable power that the world has ever known. I believe that came out of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill said that your imagination is massively powerful, but most people use it against themselves. You know what they imagine? They imagine their spouse is cheating on them. They imagine that their spouse is going to come home in a bad mood. They basically create that happening. Well, Kevin, you don't know, he always comes home in a bad mood. Well, that's what you're thinking, and it's never going to change. Okay? You have to be very careful. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that little nursery rhyme song, be careful little eyes what you see, be careful little ears what you hear. That there's a reason that song came about. It was to hopefully start teaching little kids that if you don't pay attention to what you're looking at and the images that are going to go into your mind and what you hear other people say, it is going to create, it's going to form your operating system that's going to control 95% of what you do in your life. So if you don't understand anything else that we talk about all week long, and you may have heard the expression thoughts become things. That's one of the big in mindset you hear. Bob talks it all the time. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. This pen right here, this is a Bob's pen. This is a very nice pen that we got from that. Actually, Bob actually gave me this in his office. But somebody had an idea of how can I start writing stuff down on a piece of paper without having to take this feather and cut the end of it off and dip it down in an ink thing. How can I? And they started thinking about a better way. This pen was a thought before it ever became reality. This cowboy hat. Somebody says, you know what? I'm tired of getting sunburned on my bald head or my face. What can I do to create something? Not that everybody wears hats bald. I mean, I'm kind of going bald, but the point is somebody had a thought before this ever became reality. Everything that's ever been created started out as a thought. So what are you thinking? Did you know that you can create the very life that you want? But those thoughts of that life, whatever it is, whether it's a healthier body, a thinner, more fit body, a happier marriage, a more passionate sex life with your spouse, if you don't think those things are possible, you're going to continue to create what you're thinking about. So what is it that you want? That's why it's so important that you know what you want, not what your spouse wants, not what your dad, brother, cousin, friend, society. What do you want? What kind of marriage do you want? What kind of relationships do you want? What kind of health and body do you want? What do you want? Use your imagination in favor of that, not against it. But Kevin, you don't understand. You don't know my history. You don't know my background. I look like this. There's no way I can. You're already creating in your mind this imagination of the very things that you say you don't want. So if you say you don't want it and you're telling me that you do want it and you're not giving your mind any order, guess what? You're already there. Nothing's going to change. We want to help you not do that anymore. I got to the point. And I have ego. I'm a guy, you know. I was in Nashville. I had top 40 hits and music videos and on the road. And I got an ego. And that ego controlled me. And it was to my detriment. And it kept me from understanding. It kept me from learning. It kept me from reaching out for help. It kept me from investing in myself. I wanted to change that. But it took me till I was 52 or 51 and a half, 52, somewhere there, before I finally said, enough's enough. So how much longer are you going to say, one of these days I'm gonna? How much longer are you going to wish that things were different in your life and just say it's just no use? It is possible. That's what this week is all about, is to show you what is possible for you. And I promise you it's possible for you. But if you don't think it is, if you think that we're just different, oh man, do you have bad information? If you could only live inside my mindset over the last 20 years and see the life, how I used to think and the results that I was getting, yeah, I'd post what I wanted people to see. I'd post all the events and trips but you didn't see all the nights that I bawled my eyeballs out at night because I was lonely and hurting and just not understanding why does the shit hit the fan all the time? I get all excited about this and shit hits the fan. Why? Because I expected it. It's happened before, it's going to happen again. This time it's going to be different, but my mind's going, you know what? We don't want it to be that way for you, and it doesn't have to be that way, but you have to make the decision. And it's not just to go to a motivational speaker and get fired up for 3 or 4 days and then next week, because I promise you right here and right now, that if you do that, you're going to revert back to the same old, and nothing's going to change. And then 6 months later, a year later, that longing, discontent, you're going to hit rock bottom again. You're going to be miserable. I'm going to do something about it this time. And you're going to say, I'm going to go try this again. And you're going to do it for 3 or 4 days. And somebody's going to say something. That stuff doesn't work. It costs too much money. Where are you going to do this? How can you do that? And you're going to go right back. And then another year is going to go by. How do I know that? Because I did that for years and years until I finally said, I don't care anymore what anybody else thinks. I don't care what it costs. I don't care anything. I want to live a different life. I want to understand what I'm doing wrong, what I'm missing. And I went and I got it. And my whole life has changed. And when you guys on Thursday, when I get to tell this story about the vision board and about Natalie and everything that's happened, guys, it will sound like it's a miracle. It's possible. But if you don't think it's possible, it's not.
It's only a miracle to those that don't understand how the mind operates. Like I said, the 3 to 5% that is creating the life that they want, and they understand how the mind operates. It's not a miracle to them. They're starting to see that is what we're built to do. And when we're not doing that, we will feel depressed. We will feel longing. We will feel discontent. That is just human nature. So it's just so important. And, and I love this quote, Kevin, it kind of aligns with what you're saying, is what Einstein said: do not expect to solve your problems with the same thinking that created the problems in the first place. So many of you are not investing in yourself, not getting coached, not doing these programs that require because remember, your mind is controlling you. How can you shift your own mind? I will always have a coach. I'm working with a 9-figure coach right now to bring my business to the next level. Do you think I'm going to do that alone? And you know what? She's not teaching me how to be a 9 figures with strategies. She's helping me shift my thinking to see things differently. The power is all here inside of us. Nothing is strategy. Doesn't show me any strategies, because that's not how we get things done. That's what 95% of the population has been wired to do, is go and find the book. There must be a way, a strategy for weight loss that's easy. There must be a way.
Easy.
We're looking for strategies all the time to get the life we want. Meanwhile, it's not out here. It has to shift up here. You need like I said, the clicking. Wait for it. The breakthrough of, oh my God, I do think negative thoughts. Oh my God, I don't think I'm good enough. Oh my God, I do feel like I'm not educated enough. Oh my God, I can't see myself earning 6 figures or 7 figures.
Oh my God, I'm still mad at him for what he said to me 6 years ago. Oh my God, he's become mad.
Right? So what we want you to do today is create a vision board.
Or, oh my God, she's going to reject me again tonight when I try to, get romantic. She's going to reject you. Well, anyway, we're going to talk more about that later.
Yeah. So
we want to be respectful. We're never going to go an hour. Natalie and I, we can seriously get carried away. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll let Natalie.
Yeah. So it's just the vision board. So all we want you to do is create the vision board. This is for your future. Fight for your future. If you're like, I'm not going to do it, then you're fighting to stay where you are. I need you to understand that there's only two choices here. Indifference is the opposite of self-love. So you have to fight for your future. You have to fight for more. You gotta connect to your heart and say, what is it that we want? Because whatever you love and are attracted to and drawn to, remember, you are born from a place of love. It's very easy to figure out what it is that we want. You love it. You see something, you're like, ooh, I love that. Put it on your vision board. Put it, because desire will pull you in a higher dimension of yourself, but you need desire. So let's start working on that. And if you don't want to do the whole vision board, post in the Facebook group just images of things. But I want you to go and Google the things that you discover, what it is that you will friggin' love, right? And I want you to really blow it out of proportion. I want it to be to a point where you got that one side of your mind that's saying, we can never live like that. Ding, 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 you're on the right track. Because the moment that that side of your mind is telling you that you're going the wrong way, you're going the right way, by the way. So just follow what it is that you're like, ooh, that would be so awesome. And I want you to post it in Facebook. Show us those images. Because remember, by putting energy and focus in the things that you want, there's a lot of power into that. So speak life. Speak life into the things that you want. Show us in the Facebook page. Send us an email if you'd like, but I want you to all go and look and see these images. And your images are probably going to really spice it up for someone else and say, oh my God, never even thought about that, right? So you be giving, you're going to receive back as well. So I really hope that
you're not going to know how it's going to happen.
You're not.
I can't tell you how many people that we've worked with early on that said, Kevin, I don't know how it's going to happen. I said, it does. The how does not matter. Listen, the how does not matter. The how will be revealed to you as you start moving forward. You have to have a goal. You have to know where you want to go. The how doesn't matter. The how is going to start to reveal itself as you go. I will tell you some stories later this week that will blow your mind about things that happened that I didn't know how they were going to happen, but because I said, that's what I want, and I started moving in the direction of it, things started coming out of thin air, seemed like. But this is how it works. You don't have to know how, you just have to have a desire. You will start to get ideas of ways that you can do things. You can start to get ideas about where you can get extra money, where you can create new income, where you can attract different people, where you can attract different opportunities, different friends. These things will be drawn to you once you make the decision of where you want to go and you get in action, moving in that direction. And we're going to show you how to do that. But you have to know what it is that you want. You have to make the commitment to yourself, and then you have to stick to it. Your paradigm's going to say, oh, come on, we can take the day off. Let's go fishing. Oh, let's go. That show on Netflix is coming on. Oh, my best friend called and I hadn't seen her in, 3 weeks, and you're going to miss a day. And then one day is going to turn into two. You might get back on Thursday, and you might get back on Friday, and then Saturday something else comes up. You have to make this commitment to yourself, because if you don't, you're going to go right back to the very place that you don't want to be. And that's what Natalie and I are here for. That's why we coach. That's why we work with people. That's why we have the programs, because we will work with you and keep you from doing that, and we will hold you accountable. And we're not going to be your friend sometimes. We're not here to be your friend. We're here to help you get what you want. Friends say, "Oh, come on, Kevin. Let me take them
paradigm
off."
wants what your heart wants.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what we do. This is why we're here. This is why we're sharing with you this week. We want to plant these seeds, and we hope that you'll join us again tomorrow.
Yeah, and do the homework, because basically you're choosing between, remember that sketch, the two different sets of, like, same people but two different exercises. So not doing this homework is you continuing to go into circles, or you start figuring out what your North Star is. You start figuring out what your desires are. You're starting to figure out what you really, really want. Once you connect to that, you're going to don't worry about the rest. You'll get there, but you need desire first. So connect to the desire, and then we'll talk about the rest this week.
Okay, one more thing, Natalie, just to give them a little bit more clarity on exactly what this vision board looks like. We want you to create, even if it's on your desktop computer, images of what you want your life to look like. What kind of house would you like? What kind of vacations would you like? What kind of romance would you like in your life? What kind of money would you like? Images that represent what you want, not where you've been, not worrying about how's it going to happen, but your dream board, your vision board, what you would love to have happen. When you have a vision board, an idea, it's giving your mind something to have on the forefront. You look at it throughout the day, you see it, you start imagining yourself being in this house, you start imagining your health to look like this, you start imagining your relationship to be this way, you start imagining your bank account to look this way. You're going to have the thoughts, that's crazy. Well, you're going to have to just forget the that's crazy part, because I'm telling you, there's power in having this vision board. And one more thing too that I didn't cover that I wanted to, and I'll do it in 30 seconds. I want you to stand in front of a mirror, and I want you to take a sheet of paper, and I want you to stand in front of a mirror, and I want you to look at yourself, and I want you to say, I am, and I want you to write down what comes out. Okay? I want you to stand in front of a mirror, nobody around, they'll think you crazy. I am, and I want you to start writing who you are. I'm overweight. I'm unattractive. I'm undesirable. I'm broke. I'm this. Okay? If that's what you're writing out, that's how you feel about yourself. That's what you're going to create. And we won't then, after you get done doing that, then I want you to do it again on another piece of paper. I want you to stand in front of the mirror, and I want you to write. I want you to say, I am, and I want you to write the person that you want to be. I've done it. I have all these things written out, and I've recited them and read them and recorded them and listened to them. I am compassionate. I'm prosperous. I'm loving. I'm kind. I'm a great friend. I'm successful. I'm healthy. I'm strong. I'm in an amazing marriage. I wrote all these qualities that I wanted to be. And I started to speak these things to myself over and over and over and over and over and over again until I started to believe that that's who I was. And now I don't have to force it. I can stand in front of a mirror, and you guys will think I was the biggest conceited jerk that ever walked the face of the earth. I love me now. I've forgiven myself. Are there still things I'm working on? Yes. But do I know they're possible? Yes, I do. And I'm filled with hope, and I'm filled with excitement and passion and love. And it is as far as the East is from the West, from how I used to be. And the same thing can happen for you if that's what you want.
Awesome. That's awesome. Great way to end this. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is all about food freedom and intuition. And so join me and at 12 p.m. We also have the replay at 8 p.m., but most of you won't watch it again. So that's going to happen at 8 p.m.
And if you want to, we'll be
you
here.
can if you want to be
And
there.
we'll answer questions too.
Yeah. But tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will all be about food freedom, but not just food freedom. Please understand that it's all about filling voids. For some people, it's food. For some people, it's alcohol. For some people, it's all sort work, all these other things, right? So it's really going to help you understand what creates these addictions. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 p.m. All right.